and welcome to another edition of Potluck, your everything and anything talk and entertainment TV show. My name is Laura Hartman, and I am your host. Today we have a very wonderful guest joining us who is she's into healing foods and healing, a lot of healing, into alternative medicine, and she is a specialist of helping companies become more green. So please welcome to our show, Vaishali Kushan. Welcome to the show, Vaishali.
Thank you, Laura.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So I just introduced you as probably as a healer, but you're more about the foods, and today we're going to talk about Ayurveda or Ayurvedic foods and healing. So before we talk about, you piqued my interest about the green, helping companies get more green or become green. So let's talk about your background there.
Oh, my background. I was a happy banker, and I had an 8 to 5 very cushy job. Mm-hmm. I decided to go to do my master's. Mm-hmm. At the master's program, I was asked by the UN Habitat to join them in Nairobi, and I was given a task to find out about the issues related to slums, which relates to urban development. Okay. And so the urban development issues are being discussed under the climate change. The climate change is being addressed through energy efficiency and environmentally friendly green building materials. Mm-hmm. And how do we create our infrastructure, the cities, the buildings that will be able to survive the natural-made disaster and man-made disaster?
Okay.
Are they healthy? Is the HVAC system, the AC system that cleans the air in the building, what is it doing to the environment? Mm-hmm. So for each building component, the building part, there are different types of material, how they're being produced, and how the governments are taking charge of it, so we are not polluting the environment and also saving energy.
Oh, okay.
And so I get hired by governments, mm-hmm. and I look into what we can do to develop better urban cities, infrastructure that are basically not destroying the society as a whole, mm-hmm. and that we benefit from it.
Okay. And is this a passion for you? I mean, how did you I want to do this, I want to get into more green, because I know with what you do with your everyday lifestyle as far as eating and taking care of yourself, I think it's smart that you want to help the environment as well and help others. So you're giving to your community and to the world, since you've worked internationally. Mm-hmm. So are there any challenges? Because I know that there's probably a lot of people that do work in this area.
Yeah, there are many thousands of people work in this area. The challenge is to understand why a certain country is in a certain situation. So you have to know the history, you need to know their constitution, mm-hmm. and you need to know what works, what doesn't work, where are the blocks. Some countries have constitution that has regulatory framework and you can work through it.
Sure.
And some people have it, but you still cannot work through it because there are many blocks within the country. So the politics, the system itself, which is the foundation of my work, can derail my work. But the challenge is how to work without a system in place.
Okay.
How to go around the system and find the solution. So we cannot change governments overnight. We cannot adapt policies overnight.
Right. And government is very slow going as far as making decisions as
right.
it is, right?
So, but meanwhile, the poor need help. So there are many gray areas, and you have to figure out the system and the gray areas and overcome that and push the project so at least the people are not suffering.
Okay, and you are a person that can help them along with this, right?
Yes, so I call myself a pendulum. I work with the very hierarchy government officials, mm-hmm. and then I go to a hotel event with a black dress to raise money, and then my actual work is with the poor people, because once I have the money, I'm in the field working.
Okay. Okay. And you get their inputs as well?
Always.
Okay.
Always take the local input, what works for them,
Okay.
and local material.
Right.
So it's not costly, it's cost effective, so they themselves can afford it.
Now, have you ever worked over in China? Because, I mean, China produces a lot of pollution.
No, China.
They need it. They need you. Yeah.
Yeah, China has built many cities, and I have studied them, but I have not worked in China.
Right, right. Oh, I hope there are some people working over there, because they're causing a lot of our, you know, they're calling, and we'll get into the food stuff soon, but as far as like climate changes and stuff, the climate is changing because of pollution. I don't think a lot of people understand that. You know, I mean, do you agree with that?
There are many studies done on the climate change and the pollution, how it has shifted from first world. They are no longer producing. They don't longer have manufacturing companies. They have pushed them out. They have outsourced them. So most of them have gone to Asia. So you have the air, one side is very heavy and other side is not.
Right.
And you can just see the nature, how it's reacting, how it's circulating it. So there are many, the sociology, the sociology is trying to address it. The scientists are also trying to address it. And they are trying to convince the governments something should be done.
Right, and a lot of them are saying, no, it's not the weather, it's pollution.
Yes.
It is actually pollution. The pollution is the problem. So anyway, so now we'll get into the food. So tell us about Ayurvedic food, how you got involved with it and how it's helped you. And I know you have some stomach issues. I've got stomach issues from having surgery done because they messed up. They did a snip. And so for me, I'm not absorbing vitamins and nutrients like I should. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm from India, and I grew up knowing about Ayurveda, which is a word from Sanskrit, and it means life knowledge.
Okay.
Life knowledge it's a vast topic, but knowing your surroundings, the season changes, your body changes, and your body needs the change. And then your body speaks to you, and often we neglect to hear it. We are too busy, you know, we are always on go. We are grabbing Starbucks and we are grabbing fast food, or we are just grabbing a salad, but we're not listening to our body. What is it saying? What does it want? Also, body has its own way to heal, but it tells you what it wants to heal. Ayurveda is prehistoric medicine. In today's world, it can be called alternative medicine. It requires a lot of herb, massage, and meditation, basically balancing your life and hearing what it wants. Ayurveda, I knew about Ayurveda, but I didn't practice it until I broke out with adult acne. And it was not even adult acne, it was rosacea. I got allergic to milk, dairy, and did not know it. And the doctor placed me on Accutane. And I was on Accutane for 7 months. What I know about Accutane now, I wish I could change the clock.
Sure.
But just like you have a leaky gut, that means your body is not breaking down the protein and it's turning the sugar into fat. My body started to do the same, and I was very big within a year after taking Accutane. I tried exercising, yoga, meditation, everything, and I started going to a nutritionist, and she looked at me, "Why are you here? You have Ayurveda." And I said, "Oh yes, I grew up with it." And so I started reading about it, and as I started reading about it, I started taking classes, because the food type that Ayurveda requires is not available in the US. So that means I had to work with the local food, what is available here.
Right.
And as I started taking the nutrition classes, I started to learn about the processed food, the frozen food, fast food, and how we have gotten away from the real meaning of whole food.
Right.
And as I start educating myself, I realized that what I bring from home, from India as my ancestry, was working for me. And then I started noticing that a lot of health food stores were carrying the spices I needed. Here they're considered novelty, where in India it's on day-to-day basis.
Right.
So I started incorporating the Ayurvedic, the spices and way of cooking into the local food. And slowly I discovered that I wasn't so far away from home. It was all there. I just had to look for it.
Right.
It's not in the mainstream.
Now, how does, somebody like me, I mean, I could go online and look, but where would I want to start to start helping myself, like with my issues, or anybody that's watching, to say,
You have to read about Ayurveda.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I looked before I came. There's a lot of good information online, and and through they will guide you how to understand your body, and they will guide you to know the body type you have, and once you have that knowledge, you can plan your menu. It tells you what food will work for you, what food will not work for you. And as the season change, your body will change. Your body will require different food. So it's constant. You have to learn constantly, and you have to apply as you learn it.
Right. Okay. So for since you had like the stomach issues and I've got stomach issues, can you give me some examples of the type of foods that you started to eat or to make, and what was the time frame? Because I mean, I have a busy schedule like during the week, so it's is this something where I'm gonna have to like spend Sunday cooking all day so I can prepare for the rest of the week type of deal, And I mean, I try to, as far as like the meditation and everything else, I try to like work all exercise and all that into the play too. So what do you recommend?
What do I recommend? Do it every day. At least put 1 hour out to prepare.
Okay.
And so you're not doing it in one lump sum.
Okay.
Because if you do it in one lump sum, it's like a huge mountain, and you will get discouraged. You will not do it.
Okay.
And so make a habit of every day 1 hour put aside that I'm going to prepare for tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to think about over the weekend. I'm going to think about my week, and these are my recipes, and this is how I'm going to cook it.
So if I prepared yesterday, then today's already ready, and I don't have to worry about today's, and I can just cook tomorrow's.
Right.
A day ahead.
Yeah. There are crock pots.
Okay.
There are blenders. There are blenders that you can do green smoothies.
Okay.
And because once you, depending on your type of body, like for me, leafy food is the best.
How do you find out how did you find out what type of body you have? I mean, this, there's different type of, there's people that are blood types where you eat the foods that are for your blood type. And I've never heard of eat what's for your body type.
Yeah.
So.
Like there are a lot of diets, and they will say eat as what your blood type asks you.
Okay.
Eat whatever you think you want. There's so many. You don't eat grains, or you don't eat this, or you don't eat that. There's so many diets out there, but you have to understand. For me, it started with dairy, and I love dairy. I can dream about dairy. And when I had to give it up, it's like, oh no, I cannot do this.
Right.
But then I looked at my body. It's like, okay, my body has changed. Somehow the enzymes have gone away.
Right.
And so now I have to live without it. And I found out that because I was on such heavy medication, that my body became very acidic. When your body's acidic, it starts to bloat. It starts to have indigestion. And so I started to cut out food. I really literally gave up dairy.
All your dairy.
And I found out that garlic was not mixing well with some of the herb, so I had to separate the garlic from some of the herb that I was using. I thought I'm using all these herbs, I'm using all these
I use garlic in almost everything that I cook.
And so they say, oh, garlic is good for you,
Yeah.
but no, garlic is not good for you with the combination of herbs.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have to be careful that with fenugreek you don't mix garlic.
Do you have like a, so you'll have like a, it's almost like you're taking prescription drugs where you're having a drug interaction.
Exactly.
Sort of. Okay.
Yeah. And meat and milk don't go well because they diffuse the enzyme. And there's some religion have embedded into their practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they understood in ancient time. So they incorporate that into religion. But when you look at it from scientific point of view, milk enzymes and meat enzymes, there's no match. And people have indigestion right away. A lot of people say, you know, they will go to Indian restaurant. So I had that chicken, some with the korma and had a lot of cream in it, and but I loved it, but I couldn't get up from my, like, I was bloated.
Oh, right.
And so the bloating is coming from your body did not accept the milk and the meat because it didn't know what to do with it. So it just gave you bloating.
Right. So does meat, I mean, does milk mix well with chicken or pork or
any meat. Any
meat,
any
okay.
meat. But some people may be able to digest it.
Okay.
I cannot digest it. So now I have to be very careful, like, oh, I love chicken curry, but wait a minute, did you put cream in it? And I will say, could you please not put cream in it?
Okay.
And most of the restaurants are very good in accommodating you. And so far, changing my lifestyle really hasn't hindered my social life.
Okay.
I can ask them to alter my food.
Okay. Now, do you find that at every place? Because, you know, some places are so busy and, you know, restaurants-wise.
Of course, the fast food will not be able to accommodate you.
Well, I'm sure you don't go to fast food.
No.
I like to go to fast food myself.
So for me, eating out is a social activity, and you always choose a restaurant that is not a fast food restaurant, and that will accommodate. I try not to go to a chain restaurant, because chain restaurants usually you think it's being prepared for you, but it's already prepared, and most of the stuff has already been packed and it's been sent to the restaurant. So I try to choose a restaurant that is family owned.
Okay.
Family run, and these are small businesses. So being in the development world, I do promote small businesses. So that's my personal and professional choice. And I also, they are very accommodating. And even some of the chain restaurants can accommodate you. You just have to know your food, and you can, what you can eat, what you cannot eat, and you can. Everything is online. Their menu is online. You can quickly look at the menu and see where you can have alteration.
Okay.
You can ask them
or maybe
to make
call ahead and say, "Hey, I'm going to be ordering this. Can you?"
They're very. To me, I have not had any problem.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So. You know, you've kind of fascinated my mind about the garlic mixing with other herbs and stuff. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what else can you not mix garlic with? Because I literally when I cook at night, I like to put garlic in just about everything because I know it's really good for you. But
garlic and milk doesn't go well.
Yeah. Okay.
Garlic and fenugreek doesn't go well. You cannot eat. You can swallow the whole clove of garlic, but you cannot chew garlic because it will kill your enamel, because it's very strong.
Yeah.
And so you can, there are lists when you go through the Ayurvedic book or anything, they have a combination of food and they will tell you where to exclude garlic.
Okay. Now, so you have mentioned off camera that when you go to India, you can drink milk there.
Yes.
But you can't in this country.
No.
And explain why that is. I mean, other than that they put hormones and stuff is so processed in this country, but explain what's the difference between India and here.
India, when I go home, and this was very sad, but when I gave up milk and I went home, one of the things my mom does when I go home is make the homemade butter, because I love homemade butter. She made the butter, and I said, no, I cannot have it. And she just looked at me, well, you love it. And so I was so scared to have it because I hate bloating, and I had it, and I was fine. And so I asked where the milk came from. Now I started, like, now I'm so much into my research, and I found out that they get the milk, my parents get the milk from a private dairy that just serves the neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And so they deliver the milk to my parents' house.
And it's whole, pure.
It's 100% milk.
Like organic type milk. I mean, because they have organic milk here, but what's the difference?
I think it's what they are asked to add to the milk to preserve it, so it has more shelf life.
Okay.
And I don't know what these preservatives are. I know they are harmonized, but in India and Europe, their processing of milk is very different. So when I land in Europe and when I land in India, the first thing I do,
go get a milk or a milkshake.
I say, okay, I can have my milk. I can have my dairy.
Okay, so it's like maybe the inactive type ingredients here.
Something, yeah.
So even if it's organic and no hormones, it's still like they're still adding something that's still maybe that's bothering you or me or whoever.
For a while, I was able to take U.S. organic milk, and then that gave out, and then goat milk. But then the goat milk, in India I can have raw goat milk. Just I can milk a goat and drink. Yeah. But no, I couldn't drink goat milk here at all.
Wow, we're so toxic here.
I don't know what hormones they're given. I have not looked at how dairy is raised and produced here.
Right.
And I know that in India, and Europe as well, your milk life is you get it in the morning, you finish it by the evening, and you get it in the evening, you finish it by the morning.
So it's like going back to 1950 here, where we had the milkman come and deliver milk.
Right.
Well, I don't.
Whatever is left over, they make it a yogurt. They just put the cultures and they just make it and turn it into yogurt. So they don't consume milk over, let's say, at the minimum of 12 hours, maximum of 24 hours.
Right.
And here, how long the milk stays. So
good 2 weeks or whatever it is. I don't know.
So milk is lasting for 2 weeks. So what is being added to it? I don't know.
Okay. So are there any other foods that you can't eat, or what you have to stay away from here in the U.S. compared to other places?
In the U.S., I am not able to eat many stuff. I cannot have corn here. But when I go to India, I have corn. And
well, they add GMOs and other stuff.
Yeah. And I think it has. And when I eat wheat in the U.S., I go to the health food stores and buy wheat germ, and I will add wheat germ to my flour, and then make the bread, and that bread is fine for me.
Okay.
But if I just use the flour from the shelf, no, I cannot digest it. So I have to work hard with what is available here.
Okay.
So I will have corn, and I will have wheat, but I will add wheat germ to it, and that's where the essential oils are, and I'm able to process it, or my body is able to process it.
Right. Okay. And you spend how many hours per week prepping? I mean, I've had your food before, and it's fantastic, and I can't wait to bring you back on the show to actually show people how to cook what you eat. But how many hours during the week do you actually spend for your diet, for your body?
In the beginning, it was very difficult. I thought my life was around kitchen, but now that I've been doing it for 15 years. Like I said, I have 1 hour, 1.5 hours in the kitchen every day.
Okay.
And I prepare in advance. Over the weekend, I plan it. And once it's planned, and you have everything right in front of you, it's not a huge mountain. You can climb it.
Okay.
And so for me, it's a day-to-day basis.
Now, are you?
It's very easy.
Okay.
It's not that hard.
Okay. Here in the United States, people like convenience, and for me personally, I like to do like one-stop shop. But sometimes I have to go to like a few different stores to get the foods that I want to eat. But if I get into the Ayurvedic foods, I have a feeling I'll be like going every which way to pick up foods, different types of spices and foods, and wherever. What do you?
No, there are online shops. They're much cheaper.
Okay. Oh, so delivery.
So you
like Amazon.
There are many other. Yeah, Amazon is one.
Okay.
And you don't buy it on weekly basis. These spices, these ingredients will last you from 6 months to a year.
Oh.
So you're basically not spending that much time. All you're doing is I don't use vegetables more than 3 or 4 days old. I stay away from. You will not find any frozen food because I found out that it has freeze burn. I found out the canned food has a lot of preservatives. Okay. So I plan, if I want to have beans, I will soak it and I will make it over the weekend.
Okay. Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we've run out of time.
Okay.
So, but thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. And if you're just tuning in now, make sure you go to www.potluck-online.org. And if you want to reach out to Vaishali, are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am on Facebook.
And your Facebook name would be?
It is my name. You can send me a message and I will respond.
Okay, yeah, we'll put that on the screen. So again, so thank you again, and hopefully next time we'll bring you back on so we'll be in a kitchen where you can whip up something that will maybe be Ayurvedic, and we get to taste test your wonderful food. So
I look
again,
forward to it.
thank you again, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.